The weekly is going to close in only a day and 13 hours. If we can close above this level, we have our green light to look for the next leg to the upside. Alright guys, so that was a clip from the previous ChainLink update that we did where we were looking for ChainLink to close above this red box territory coming in at $17.99. And if you guys look carefully, you're going to see that ChainLink did exactly that. If you zoom into the daily time frame, you can see that this was the Sunday candle close where ChainLink closed about $17.99 and the market reacted to it, right? We got a retest of the level and an immediate continuation and push to the upside. Now the question is, do we see immediate continuation or do we see a pullback deeper into the red box territory, allowing us to add to our position before we look for that bigger trend trade to crazier numbers? But before we answer that, let me talk about why I want to add to my position to begin with. First, I'm not happy with my position size. I have more allocation space left while still fitting within my risk parameters, right? So I can increase my position size while keeping my risk consistent with my risk management system. Two, I now have confirmation that the market is respecting what I am analyzing. If you guys do remember, our red box territory has come in primarily from this inflection point analysis that we did in the previous video. If you guys did miss the previous video, I highly recommend it. It is extremely educational and we go into detail as to why we came up with all of these levels here: the invalidation level, the TP zone level, and even the partial take profit zone level. Okay, now let's answer the question. Do we see that pullback or do we see that immediate continuation from here? This is where things get really interesting. I want you guys to pay attention. We're going to switch on over to the dashboard for this. And by the way, I highly recommend starting all of your analysis with the dashboard. It just makes things so much easier and you will see things that you would otherwise miss on the chart. If you guys do remember, it was the dashboard that tipped us off on the big move on Link when it was sitting only at $14. In fact, before we filter out Link, let me show you guys the clip. Link looks amazing. This looks so good. This looks so good. Just buy it. Just buy it. This looks so good. Oh man. Okay, now let's go ahead and get an updated view on Link's trend and volatility profile. We're going to filter out Link, hit the drop down right over here, and we can see on first glance, Link looks fantastic. The trend profile is long across all the time frames and the volatility might be a bit concerning, but we have to keep in mind that we just had a weekly breakout. So this is to be expected. That being said, on the weekly time frame, if you guys draw your attention all the way to the right hand side over here under the flags column, you're going to see that we have potential bearish divergence. And this is why the dashboard is so useful, because this is the kind of thing that you would have otherwise missed because there's just so many things to keep track of. So let's go ahead and check out this potential bearish divergence on the chart to see whether it's something that we need to be concerned about. Okay, so here we are on Link's weekly time frame and we have our RSI open right over here, and we can see that this bearish divergence is pretty drastic, right? We have a bearish divergence between this point and this point over here. Now remember guys, the dashboard said potential bearish divergence because this bearish divergence has not triggered yet and it could get invalidated if we see price continue to rise. Now, are there any signs of price continuing to rise? Again, for that, we're going to flip back on over to the dashboard, and this time we're going to draw our attention to the top row, the 4-hour time frame, and go all the way to the right hand side again. And we are going to see that the 4 hours indicating potential bullish divergence. This is the interesting bit, guys, because this 4-hour divergence, if it plays out, it could invalidate the weekly bearish divergence. Because remember what I just said, guys, if price continues to rise and the RSI moves up over here, we will see this bearish divergence get invalidated. So essentially what's going on over here is a fight between two divergences: the bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame and the bearish divergence on the weekly time frame. Now, I know all of this may be getting too complicated. I'm going to give you guys the exact trigger for when this happens. So go ahead and hit the subscribe and the notification icon so that way you guys don't miss out for when the bearish divergence triggers or for when the bullish divergence triggers. Because if the bullish divergence triggers, we could get that next big move to $28. If the bearish divergence triggers, we could get that bid opportunity somewhere around $16. So how the next few days plays out is going to be very, very important. So again, hit the subscribe so you don't miss the next update. For now though, let me go ahead and give you guys something to keep an eye on until the next video. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my Mango Dynamic. And remember, we're looking at the 4-hour time frame at the moment, okay? And as you guys can see, ever since the dashboard gave us the signal, Link has been trending perfectly on the 4-hour dynamic, right? It bounced off here, and now the question is, does it give another test and will it defend the 4-hour Mango Dynamic? And what's really interesting, guys, is that it coincides with our red box territory. So we can use that for confluence. Now, for those of you who don't have access to the Mango Dynamic, let me go ahead and read out the levels for you. The top of the dynamic level is coming in at around $18.30, and the bottom of the dynamic level is coming in at $17.90. If we lose this zone over here, guys, which is going to coincide us with losing the red box territory as well, then I'll be looking for deeper levels. How deep? Well, the first obvious level is going to be the bottom of this red box territory, and that's coming in at $16.32. Now again, the dynamic is always adapting to price action, and since this is the 4-hour time frame, we may get updated levels on the dynamic before I can do the next video. But I will be posting any updates on my Twitter. So go ahead and follow me on Twitter. My handle is @SeanDexter. And if Link loses the 4-hour dynamic, I'll make sure to post it on Twitter right over here. I also post other big trade ideas like the one I did for Bitcoin as well as the big trade on Cardano. So you guys, alright, so now let's go ahead and wrap up with a quick recap on what we discussed in the previous video in regards to our targets as well as our invalidation. As you guys can see that we have a TP zone marked out for $37.60. Now, it is going to take time for Link to get there. We're not going to move in a straight line. There are going to be high lows. There are going to be opportunities. There are going to be take profit opportunities in the middle as well. One of the take profit opportunities right over here is marked out at $27.80. Okay, over there, you're going to be taking some of your profits, not the entire bag. Similarly, at this TP zone over here at $37, I suggest you guys leave a small portion at the very least of your bag, because I believe we are in a bull run and I believe we are going to see much higher targets for Link in the future. But this level over here is going to be critical. So taking a good chunk off the table is not ill-advised at all. But where does this trade all fall apart? Where does it go wrong? Where do we know that this trade idea needs to be cancelled? Well, we are going to be tracking the weekly dynamic over here. Now, I've gone ahead and updated the levels for you guys because we got a new tick of these levels on this new weekly open. The new zone is $12.75 and $13.80. But the bears have a lot of work to do before we have to worry about that. For now, our focus is going to be on the bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame. We're going to be waiting to see when this triggers, and the weekly bearish divergence. Because if the weekly bearish divergence triggers, we are going to be getting our buy opportunity somewhere around $16.32. If the 4-hour bullish divergence triggers, we are going to be looking for that big move all the way to $27.
So we've been trading the markets for almost a decade now, and if there's one thing we've learned, it's that the biggest opportunities are missed because there's just far too much going on. There's too much to analyze and not enough time. It can all get extremely stressful, and that's just simply not Mango. So over the past few years, we developed the Mango dashboard to eliminate the stress and strip away the complexity. Instead of slaving away in front of the screen all day, the Mango dashboard will narrow down opportunities for you with a single click using our quick filter buttons. You'll get access to trend signals across all timeframes, as well as volatility profile across all timeframes. There's bullish and bearish hidden divergences, Ichimoku big trend signals, as well as buy zones and sell zone markers. and it's all shown in a simple way. And guess what, guys? It doesn't end just there. For the advanced trader, the dashboard also gives you access to the Mango view, which helps you mark out FVG support and resistance zones to help you milk out those extra profits. We also have key trend analysis indicators to make sure you're always on the right side of the trend, as well as the Mango Ichimoku cloud with the Mango settings to help you capture those big wins. You can find all of this at app.mangoresearch.co. And what's more is that you can try it all out for free.